Another one for the Brotherhood as Cameron Williams just announced he will be joining the Blue Devils for the 2026 season. A few thoughts on it. Just listening to Cam, he mentioned a couple of things. So I wanted to take some notes when he was talking. He mentioned it's a childhood dream of his. It came down to Duke and Arizona being where he's from. So I think a lot of these guys have dreams of playing at Duke, and Cam Williams was another one. He also felt like the coaching staff really believed in him, and he cited that the coaching staff had said no to other prospects and had made him a focal point, a priority in their recruiting class. And he knows it's going to be tough. This isn't going to be easy, but his goal, like most players, is to go win and get a national championship. So I think he's got all the right mentality to come in and be successful at Duke. I think one thing that's very notable to me, he's the third player to commit to Duke for next season for the 2026 class. And all three guys, Cam Williams, Bryson Howard, Maxime Meyer, have been risers. They are guys who have been improving their stock as we've been getting closer to their eventual high school graduations and moving up boards, which I think is a major positive for this Duke class. You've got guys who've been improving, and the expectation is that they will continue to improve. Now, listening to Adam Finkelstein, who I really respect, and I'll pull up his thoughts on the team in just a second here, or not on the team, but on Cam Williams. Um, some of the things he was saying is that he is a riser, is a guy who he's referred to as somebody who is a prospect and is now a producer. And but he did say he's got to get stronger. He's got to be more physical. For the most part, that's the case with a lot of guys entering college. But he made the comparison to the other guys who played the power forward position under Coach Shire, Filipowski, Flag, this year Cameron Boozer, and he said basically that Cam Williams is not going to come in and produce in the way certainly that Flag and Boozer have. And it's going to take some time for him to develop into a player, but he is a one and done type prospect. So I think Blue Devils fans need to have some patience with Cam Williams, especially early on. But he is a guy who's really risen up, the top 100 board. So I think it's a real positive for this Duke team. We'll have to see whether Duke is able to land Jordan Smith, and then what else will they go after in this 2026 class? Because now at this point, they are, they are looking like a top five, top three recruiting class, which is a really positive sign for Duke. And now the question is, how much higher will they go up? Are there other guys that I haven't seen that Duke is looking at? Drop them in the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel. It's really helpful. And I just want to pull up one quick thing here before we go to what Finkelstein has. And I think Jordan Smith's going to come to Duke. He's just waiting until the spring end spring period is what I understand. And I think it makes a lot of sense. He wants to see who's going to stay at Duke, who's going to come, who's going to leave for the NBA draft, maybe transfers. He wants to get a real sense of what the situation is he's coming into, because maybe if a lot of players end up staying, maybe he looks at it and says, maybe better off for me to go somewhere else. So I totally respect what he is doing. So quickly here, Finkelstein, what is his latest on Cam Williams? Rapidly ascending prospect with a wealth of long-term tools, 6'11" with shoes on, a really defensively versatile player, face-up skill, mobility, athletic, bouncy leaper, defensively true rim protector, 3.3 blocks a game, an active rebounder, 8.5, including 2.4 offensive. And then it finishes here. He's cut up, but still lean. With a more natural, narrow core. I'm guessing that means he's just got like a slimmer frame, 7'1.5" wingspan. Not averse to playing through contact and has good natural body control, even when knocked off his spots. But his game will grow to new levels as he adds more muscle mass. So that's one thing where I do think getting into Duke, spending the summer with the strength staff, He could put on, realistically, 5 to 10 pounds, maybe at most 5 to 10 pounds seems realistic over the summer. Get a little bit stronger, and that will help him in his season at Duke as he goes up against college players who are older and more physically fit. But I think, look, a really good get for the Blue Devils here. Getting a guy who's a top 5 player improves the class ranking from around 25th to now top 3 on 24/7 Sports, which is awesome to see. If they end up getting Jordan Smith, I think they'll be contending for that number 1 class like they've had the past couple of seasons. And then I think transfers will be a big aspect, because one things we're hearing from Finkelstein, NBA draft scouts, etc., is that this 2026 recruiting class is not, the 2025 class, the 2024 class. We're going back a few notches in terms of the quality and depth of especially the top level players in this class. So I think it's going to be important for Duke to retain some guys. Maybe that's a Hamenia, maybe that's a Darren Harris, and then additionally add via the transfer portal. I think that's going to be important for next season. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, peace.